Hello everyone, I'm Rakhi Rupani, Communications Coordinator for BNI here in the UAE. And today the chapter whom I have on Spotlight is BNI Synergy. Now BNI Synergy has recently been recognized as achieving the gold status. They are now a gold chapter, which means they've achieved over 40 members in the last 3 months. So let's get talking to the leadership teams. We have Ibrahim, who's the president of the chapter, followed on by Roshan, the Vice President, and Faisal, the Secretary Treasurer. Hello, Team Synergy. How are you all doing today?
Rakhi, thank you.
How are you, Rakhi? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. First of all, a very big congratulations to all of you on becoming gold.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for the benefit of the audience out here, gold is when you become 40 plus members and you maintain that consistency for 3 months at a minimum. So a big congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rakhi.
And before we get started with the questions, I want the audience to get to know you all a little bit better. So let's get started with Ibrahim, the president of the chapter. Tell us about yourself, the business that you represent, and what got you into BNI.
Thank you, Rakhi. I'm representing a commercial legal category, and I'm the managing partner at Al Naqbi Advocates and Legal Consultant, wherein we provide all kind of contentious and non-contentious assistance to our clients. I've been here in UAE for about 16 years, and in BNI about 11 years. I joined BNI when the chapter was called Aurora chapter. We used to meet in Ud Mehta. And at that time, it was a member between 15 to 20 always. So from then, we reached now 46 member now. That's the journey in BNI Synergy I see.
Excellent, excellent. And let's move on to our Vice President, Roshan.
I represent the category of managed print services, and my company is ARC Document Solutions, and I'm the director for the Middle East for ARC. I've been with BNI now. I think I'll complete my 9th year in about 3 weeks, 1st of October, if I recall, yes. And my journey started with Synergy actually, or with BNI, I would say, is when I first came as substitutes for my former boss in my first job in the UAE as way back in 2008. Incidentally, at the Early Birds chapter. So I used to substitute for him with Early Birds. That's where I was introduced to BNI. And then when I moved on from there, I started with Synergy, with the new company that I was part of at that time.
That's amazing. Awesome. How about you, Faisal?
Well, my company name is #Tourism, and my category in BNI is inbound tourism. What we do is very simple. We spread happiness to all our customers by providing bespoke tourism services at affordable prices. So what we do is we provide best rates for hotel bookings, visas, any excursions Dubai has to offer, you name it, and we provide it. My journey in BNI started in 2017, March. So it's been 4.5 years of journey till now. And it will be a lifelong journey, as I say again and again to all my fellow members, until BNI comes back to me and says, Faisal, you're no longer required in BNI, it's enough for you, you take a voluntary retirement. Until that time, it will continue. So yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. Long may it continue, and it's an absolute privilege to be a part of such a beautiful chapter named BNI Synergy.
That's amazing, Faisal. What got you into BNI?
What got me to BNI is, again, as I say, the learning never ends. So what I learned from one of my employees was there's a thing called BNI. So he came up one day and said, Faisal, have you heard about BNI? I said, no. He said, okay, fine. I was part of this previous events company, and they were part of BNI, and they used to get a lot of referrals from this network. So I said, okay, let's go and visit once, no problem. And once I came to BNI Synergy, first visit, within that half an hour of the start, when people introduce themselves in the 30 seconds pitch, and in the I have sessions when they announce their business, that's it. I mean, that moment I decided this is the network I want to join, and this is the chapter I want to join. And once the meeting was over, I was ready with my check. I said, okay, let me know when I can come back again. That was, I mean, a no-brainer for me, actually, when I came to BNI for the first time.
It's an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And my next question would be for, I think one of you all, maybe Faisal, yes, can answer that. How do you plan on celebrating this special occasion now that you have already achieved this gold status? I know that you all have already started going back to in-person meetings as well. So if you would like to spread some light on that as well.
Well, Raki, the celebration started on 30th of August when we went back to in-person after a year and a half. Wow, and what a feeling it was to be in person and to meet my fellow members, every 40, 45 of them. That was the start of a celebration, and it will continue this month. We are planning to hold a social, which will be on a grand social. So all the members of BNI Synergy who are going to hear this interview later, don't miss out on the socials we are going to organize this time around, and it's going to be something worth remembering for a long, long time. So watch out for the socials, and that's in plan. And as I say, every week is a celebration in BNI Synergy.
Great answer for that. Ibrahim, my next question is for you. I know you've been in BNI for such a long time. 11 years is a very long time. Tell us, how has this journey been for you as a member and also as being a part of Synergy?
Yes, Raki, as I said, I started my BNI journey in Aurora chapter around 11 years ago. And at that time, it was always between 15 to 20, 25 members in the chapter. There is up and down as every BNI chapter faces. And 2 times it was frozen. And then we have launched, I think around 10 years ago, we have 9 to 10 years ago, we have relaunched as BNI Synergy. And since then also it was the same, like 25, 30 members always. But this time when we took over as LT and the magic had happened, we made a history in BNI Synergy. We now 46 members. And of course, as BNI says, the number matters. When you have big numbers in the chapter, or everything, the figures doubles, like referrals, thank you for close business. And even the visitors, when they attend the chapter, they like the big numbers because they're more energy and they see a lot of categories in the chapter. So that's how BNI IC is now in Synergy.
Absolutely, and I agree with that that you rightly mentioned. The magic is in the numbers, because that's when the referrals happen. That's when the connections and the bonds increase. Very rightly said, so Ibrahim. Any moments that you treasure from those old days that you would like to share with us?
Yes, I've seen BNI Synergy is one of the oldest chapter, and we have 91% retention in Synergy chapter. That is a treasure I've seen. The bonding, the relationship between our member. Mostly we have a senior members above 5, 10 years. We have above 10 years. We have above 8 years. Most of our members, senior members in the chapter. So the bonding and the relationship, that value in Synergy.
And the bonding continues because all three of you have stayed on for 1 year as a leadership team. It's really amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is the chemistry we had because when LT they gel together, and anything you can make it, you can succeed. So we have there is a communication between us always, daily basis, and also the relationship, the bonding between us, that is the most important to grow the chapter. So that's what's happening with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. How about yourself, Roshan? Any moments that you treasure that you would like to share with the audience out here?
Believe it or not, sometimes I think when I look back, I mean, it's not a moment to treasure, but how BNI has evolved, right? And innovation, obviously. From those days of, moving out with slips across the rooms. When I think about that, yeah, I think, oh, wow, that was that was something actually, and it used to take a lot of effort to get that done. Today, you have just 1-2 presses on a BNI mobile application on BNI Connect. You get these things done, but those days used to write them manually, walk it across to the room to the next person. Yeah, not that I miss it, but yeah, even if I look back, it's kind of a moment that sparks a little bit of nostalgia. Yes,
it's like those heydays, those school days where you had to write down all the notes and everything else.
Correct.
It's amazing to even think about that. Any learnings from the past that you've had, Roshan, so far, and how do you plan to take it forward?
Learnings from the past. I mean, the most important thing that me personally, and I think probably this might resonate with the rest of the team, is that the importance of, and I've always said this, and I will still keep saying this, is the importance of engagement. If you are able to be engaged with your chapter, with your members, especially as leadership team, that will definitely be one of the key factors that drives the chapter. Most of the times that I have seen in the past, be it Synergy or probably even any other chapters, the minute that you are disengaged and you feel okay, even in the last 2-3 weeks of a leadership team tenure, if you did get disengaged, that's it. So the learning for me has been purely based on engagement. And of course, making sure that, whatever roles that we take it and be accountable for it. You're taking up that responsibility voluntarily. Then we need to do justice to that. So a couple of those is my learnings, actually: engagement, accountability, etc. Yeah.
And those also happen to be, accountability also happens to be one of our core values for BNI.
Exactly.
You very rightly said that, Roshan. Thank you so much for the answer. And Ibrahim, my next question is for you as the president, and again, running the leadership team for like almost a year now. So what's the plan and vision going forward? I mean, the new terms are going to be taking place very soon, which is in the next couple of weeks. How do you see it in the next 12 months?
Sure. When we took over for the second term, we had the plan of achieving 45 members by 6 months, which we already achieved in 3 months. Since we have already achieved in 3 months our goal, we said, okay, let's, when we hand over, we will make it 50. So that is our plan. By end of September, we are aiming to make it at 50. And then, of course, the new incoming team, I'm sure they will take it height, and they plan maybe to become a diamond chapter, 60 plus members in Synergy.
Absolutely. And it's already 46. You're just 4 more to go, which is you're very, very close to the goal. That's amazing, Ibrahim. Thank you for sharing that with us. So my next question is for the people who handle a lot of admin in our leadership teams, which are the vice president and the treasurer. What are the systems and tools you all use, Roshan, to begin with? Any tools that you use as a vice president or otherwise for so many years? You've seen how BNI has evolved in terms of BNI Connect, Business Builder, podcast. Any systems and tools you use that you can currently make it work for yourself as a member or also as a vice president that you'd like to share with us?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind and what we extensively use is through the education coordinator. We push a lot of podcasts through. Business Builder definitely helps us in educating ourselves. So Business Builder is a very, very important tool. Actually, there is so much more in Business Builder that I think us, or even me personally as a member who has not really, done any deep dive into it. You have the recognition wall, you have, so many other aspects in Business Builder that can be used. So Business Builder is an important tool that we use with Synergy, especially to push out podcasts, assign training programs, etc. So Business Builder, I would say, is one of the biggest tools that we use.
That's amazing. Wonderful answer out there. Anything that you would like to share, Ibrahim or Faisal, that tools or systems that you all use as a chapter or as members to make your process and your performance much more better?
Raki, yes, I always tell my fellow BNI member, you keep BNI hour of honor in a week. So we keep that hour of honor. If you keep a couple of hours in a week, you get a time to go to business builder, or you get a time to book a one-to-one with your fellow members, and you get a time to go to podcast or Ivan Meisner's books or any learning literature. So that's how I suggest my fellow members, so that you get a time and you achieve in BNI membership.
Excellent. So my next question is for all of you here in the room. You'll have mentioned a lot of things that you are doing, having that retention of over 90%, which is in itself a big achievement. Tell us, how do you keep the chapter engaged? Any tips that you can share with the audience? It can be members from other chapters, new leaders being built across other chapters. How do you all keep the chapter engaged, especially given that many of our chapters are still running online? Any tips that you all can share with other chapter members? Ibrahim?
Yes, the tips would be, because the new members, I suggest we have many new members in the chapter, and also the focus visitors. When you invite visitors, if you invite the focus category, the most wanted categories, and that works, of course, because instead of previously we used to have a big visitors day, 100+ visitors, and you organize a big visitors day, and at the end of the day, you'll get maybe 10% of the application, and out of which very hardly people join. But when you focus on most wanted categories, and of course they come and they see the energy and they see the value, and they join.
That's amazing. Would you like to add something else to that, Roshan?
Yeah, adding on to what Ibrahim said about new members, I think in these days of online meetings, online inductions, and so on and so forth, but fortunately a few chapters are now going back to in-person meetings, which is a great thing. That will help that energy level come back, keep the chapter engaged, keep members engaged. And we've had 2 in-person meetings now. That alone changes the dynamics. It alone changes the energy level of members. So for any chapters who are thinking of going back online in person, it's time to think quite seriously to try getting back in person, because it's completely different. Trust me, we've done it now for 2 weeks. It's amazing. So new members, going back to the new member aspect, is in those times that we had inducted them online, it was at times very difficult to be, getting to know them a bit better. Yes, one-to-ones, etc. helped. But we as a leadership team actually took them out, and we spent a little time with them personally. The leadership team engaged and spoke to them. Took them out for a lunch, probably had a sitting with them, so that they have some physical person to talk to and deal with as a chapter. Okay, you're inducted online and you see faces on the screen, and how fast do you move from 1 to 46 people or 45 people doing one-to-ones? Not easy. So as a team, we also got a little bit involvement from a few of our senior members or other members. They also joined us. And we got those new members also engaged, so that they don't feel left out. And I think that also is one definite way to keep members engaged. Then I think Faisal would be able to comment on how our social activities and other fun activities that we did during COVID, during online chapter meeting times, as well as the other times. I think Faisal can take over from there.
Sure. Let's hear
I think they have covered. Raki, I think both of them have covered everything, whatever I could say. But one thing I would like to say is related to new members. to how to keep them motivated, because joining them a chapter, I mean making them join a chapter is relatively easy, and making them integrating them in the chapter and making them feel they are wanted in the chapter is a bit difficult. So what we take as an LT and effort is to go out to the new member immediately as soon as they join, to take them out on a president's lunch. That's what we have been doing for the past 6 months. We are taking the new member immediately once he joins for a president's lunch, telling him about the process about BNI, how it works, what he should do, probably, and then monitor the process continuously. Also, one more thing, not to forget the old members, the senior members. As an LT, it's again a responsibility to engage them as well. Sometimes what happens when you focus too much on new members, it's not a tip to any other chapter. It's a personal thing which I've observed is old members feel left out. So again, how to keep them engaged, we have done very well as a LT. We have kept the balance between the old members and the new members and engaged them on regular basis, taken their inputs, how to improvise our chapter, and we have done that well. Another thing, a small one, which I will suggest is when you're meeting a new member and when you're getting a lot of info about a new member, you probably pass on to the member who has not had a one-to-one with that new member and tell him, boss, you should have a one-to-one with that member. Maybe it's very, very good connect for you. So don't delay, and then you pass on the information. That's how you build the chapter. That's how you build a bond actually within the chapter.
Absolutely. Identifying connections and building those bonds and getting those contact spheres rolling is very, very key, especially when you're adding in new members in the chapter. That's very nicely said, Faisal. My next question would be for you, Roshan. I know a lot of things have been working for you all, and you have rightly mentioned it out as well. But given that we are at that term that the new teams are going to be taking place very soon in the next couple of weeks, what would your advice be to any new members coming on board as leadership team members or role holders? What would your advice be to them in your chapter? What would you like to impart to them, the new leadership teams and the role holders?
Great question, Raki. Like I said, I go back to that engagement. So I've said that before. So that is a no-brainer, actually. Engagement is a must. Second is accountability. Whatever roles that you finally take, remember, no one's pressured you into that. You signed up for it. And which means that you need to be accountable. You need to ensure that you perform in that role as per the KPIs that are required for that particular role. Just focus on those and have the leadership team and the support team, play those roles, play the understand the importance of those roles, because even the smallest of roles that you take up with BNI is an important role.
Absolutely.
Why I say that is everything is all interconnected. For an example, it's not the three of us here who has taken Synergy to the level that it is today. It is with the support of my membership committee. It is support of the lead visitor host downwards. It is the support of every other, including the education coordinator, the mentor coordinator. All of us got together and we did what we have done for the chapter in the last 1 year or 6 months terms. So if a single person does not contribute positively to that role and ensure that they get what is required out of them to get the job done for their chapter, that's the most important thing. So the leadership team needs to drive this. They need to be in constant contact. They need to be in constant communication, which is vital. All these put together then will act as a smooth engine that runs without much of smoke that comes out of it, right? And also, even the members, everyone contributed to what we are today. Even the membership, from the very newest member who brought in a member and sponsored a member, they all played a part. So everyone, irrespective whether you're in leadership or in membership committees or any other support roles, every one of you will definitely need to play that role, even as a member or as a member, as any other leadership role. So you need to get that. You need to understand that, very quickly when you come into leadership, when you come into other roles with BNI, and from day one you need to start running, because chapters depend on you. Chapters depend on the roles that you take up, and if even one or two fall off by the way, you're gonna be problems. So focus on the role holders, focus on their KPIs, keep following them up. Communication, engagement, accountability, all this is a full package, right? It's a full package. It's very hard to say engagement is more important than accountability. And I think everything needs to fall in place together. Then you'll any incoming role holder or any leadership team will definitely succeed.
Absolutely. And I hear you on that one, because the commitment starts from the very beginning. The moment you join a chapter to the moment you are also taking in roles, it's as a team that you work together to make it a success. I totally understand and I agree to that on that. So my next question is for all of you, all three of you, any tips you would like to share with new members? There are a lot of new members and there's a certain percentage that has been hit. It's about, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's about maybe close to 60%, if not more. A lot of members in general have not seen the in-person meetings, and a lot of new members have joined in the last maybe year and a half. So what would your advice or tips be to them who are new members and who are considering taking any roles, maybe not now, but in the future?
Yes, Raki, for the new member, our tip should be, as rightly Roshan said, step in for roles and play the roles, and commitment, accountability, engagement, everything is as a package, as he rightly said. And one thing I would like to add on that, they should proactive. I always tell my new member, don't wait someone to call you for book a one-to-one, or someone to tell you do that, follow the BNI basics, but be proactive and do yourself, so then you can see the result.
Absolutely. Anything you would like to share, Faisal?
Well, for me, it's about once you take up a role, you're accountable for that role actually, and you have to do justification. I mean, you have to justify for taking up the role. So any new member taking up role, it's about honoring the commitments, whichever the incoming LT sets probably, that what are the targets, I mean, what are the role holders processes and all. It's all about commitment actually, and it's not to be taken lightly. And to all the new members, do step forward, and it will give a lot of visibility as well. You will see a chapter from a different perspective. When you're sitting at the other side of the fence, you don't see how the chapter is run actually. And when you actually take up a role, you see actually how the chapter is run. What is the effort going behind of running a chapter week on week basis. So yeah, that will be my small tip, or to all the new members: come forward, take up the responsibility, but be accountable and do it all the seriousness as you will do in your own business, and support in whatever capacity you can to the best of your ability.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Faisal. And speaking of being on the fence, I have both our seasoned members out here, Roshan and Ibrahim. Just tell us any tips you would like to share. There are a lot of members, a lot of new visitors who come and they attend a BNI meeting and they're not too sure whether BNI is the right platform, and they're still considering, they're on the fence, they should join or not. And because you've been here with BNI for such a long time, what would your advice be to them if they're still on the fence whether they should join or not?
Raki, I tell my advice would be this tested and proven role for over 36 years, and it's a fantastic platform. And I always tell, being a lawyer, being a profession, all my work start early in the morning, 7 a.m. All the department, the code, everything starts. But every Monday, I am in BNI Synergy to build a relationship and build a bonding between our members to do the business. So for that other work, like a court and department, I send my people, they can go and they can attend it. But here I need to be there in person so that I can, do business with my fellow members. So it's a great platform. And if anybody would be thinking reluctant to join, I suggest they'll be missing this great opportunity. And this is great extended family and the great sales force for any business.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And any pearls of wisdom from you, Roshan?
For visitors or anyone who's on the fence, simple, take that leap of faith. Unless you do that, you wouldn't know the benefits and the awesomeness of BNI. You need to take that leap of faith. The numbers across the globe in terms of membership, I presume it's about 200 and close to about 280,000 now, if I'm not mistaken. They have not gone wrong. So you just need to take that leap of faith and get into the system, and you'll see how, if you work with it, it will work for you. Leap of faith is the key.
Absolutely. And with that being said, thank you so much, Team Synergy. This was amazing. Thank you for being here with us. My big congratulations to you all once again. And I definitely wish you all the very best in terms of your success. And I definitely wish for you all to go very soon into platinum, which is achieving 50, which is not too far. And more success to you all as members as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Raki, for having us. Yes, Raki, I would like to thank the entire Synergy members for their support for this great achievement. And of course, then our DC and ambassador, our previous DC, especially Prem, we had a great bonding with the Prem in Synergy and the national office and regional office. So thank everyone.
Absolutely.
Well, personal thank you from me as well to all the members of Synergy. Your support has been amazing. Your buy-in for all the plans which we have made for the chapter has been wonderful. So again, from the bottom of my heart, a thank you goes out to all the members of Synergy, and as well as to our DC, the ambassador, and the national office as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also would like to thank, I mean, it goes without saying, thank you, Team Synergy, every member. Your contributions have been immense. I'll also take the opportunity to thank the national office, Bijay and Anna, the Pankaj with his regional office, Shali, thank you for all the support that you provided. And I want to also add, because Ibrahim brought it up, but yes, Prem, very important aspect to what Synergy has built up over the years. So thank you, Prem, for all that you have done for Synergy. And yeah, that's it from me. Team Synergy, we rock, we did it.
You guys rock. Thank you so much for being here. A big congratulations to you all once again.
Thank you, Raki. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you, Raki.